Right now at noon, 3 trucks are involved in a head-on collision on I-44 over the weekend.
And we're finally going to start to see some rain chances as we head through this evening.
It's day 6 of the government shutdown with no end in sight. I'm Natalie Brand with what congressional leaders are saying and what new CBS polling shows about who the American public blames for the standoff.
State's most watched news starts now.
Parsons police are searching for a suspect following an early morning shooting on Sunday. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Chris Warner. New at noon today, officials say the incident occurred just after 1 o'clock on Sunday. Authorities with the police department say they responded to a call of shots fired at the Stepping Stone Gardens apartments near 26th and Grand. Officials say the incident began with a dispute over a car, which turned into a relationship issue with one of the victims. The suspect then pulled a gun and fired several rounds toward the car and victims. No one was injured in the shooting. Police are searching for 17-year-old Clyde Douglas McGlory IV. He's described as a black male about 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighing 170 pounds. Officials say McGlory is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, police say don't approach and to immediately contact the Parsons Police Department. Well, 3 tractor trailers crashed and burned on I-44 in a fiery head-on collision. The dramatic scene between Rolla and Fort Leonard Wood sparked massive fires, diesel fuel spills, and required multiple fire departments to battle the blaze. And another somewhat warm day out there for us today. We're going to send it over to meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney with a look at that forecast.
We do have some warm temperatures today, though after rain chances this evening, we're finally going to start to see some more seasonable temperatures a couple days this week. Now, rain chances are looking at more isolated showers, thunderstorms in southeastern Kansas after midnight. Another round coming in around 4 a.m., but clearing out before noon on Tuesday. So it's not a long threat for any rain chances, and we're also not going to see a lot of rain accumulation. Now, you can already see a front starting to push into the area. Now, it's going to linger just outside of our area, northeast and north of Wichita, northwest, for most of the afternoon. Again, main rain accumulation will be after 4 a.m. until early afternoon on Tuesday. After that, we finally get to see a cool down for a couple of days, Tuesday through Thursday. But by Friday, we're back into the 80s, so we get to enjoy some more mild temperatures for the next couple of days. I'm going to have a look at our rain chances coming up in just a bit.
All right, Lindsay, we'll see you soon. Well, it's now day 6 of the government shutdown, and the Senate, which took the weekend off, is coming back to Washington for votes late this afternoon. Some furloughed federal workers will miss out on their first paycheck this week, and now they face the threat of layoffs as well. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Senators are returning to Capitol Hill with little optimism for a breakthrough.
Well, there's not a lot to negotiate, Maria. It's the Democrats just need to open up the government. Right now, we're at a stalemate. They've now voted 4 times.
Majority Leader John Thune says lawmakers later today will take up the same dueling spending measures that failed multiple times last week.
The motion upon reconsideration is not agreed to.
Democratic leaders fault Republicans for not negotiating as they push for extending enhanced health care tax credits.
We've been trying for months and months to sit down with them and have a serious conversation addressing America's health care needs. And they've refused and refused and refused.
The White House and Republican leaders insist Democrats reopen the government first before tackling health care. If negotiations remain at a standstill, President Trump says he's prepared to move forward with mass layoffs.
It's taking place right now, and it's all because of the Democrats. The Democrats are causing the loss of a lot of jobs with their, it's a shutdown. It's their shutdown, not our shutdown. It's their shutdown.
But a new CBS News poll shows neither side is looking good to the American public. 39% blame President Trump and congressional Republicans for the shutdown. 30% blame Democrats, and 31% blame both equally. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The CBS News poll also shows President Trump's approval rating dropped 2 percentage points among those surveyed to 42%, down from 44% in September. Well, since the beginning of this year, the community of West Mineral has been transforming a bare lot into a Veterans Memorial Park funded entirely by donations and grants. So far, a swing set and an ADA picnic table have been installed, with more equipment expected in the coming weeks. Plans include bathrooms, a bike rack, a slide, tetherball, grills, and a walking trail just across the street. The plan is to also add a community shelter when funds become available.
We hope that families can come here and just have a great, safe place to bring their families to enjoy an afternoon out and just to be able to be a family and just enjoy the great town.
You can donate money to the park at Labette Bank. And yesterday, the Pittsburgh Fire Department opened its doors for a community open house at Fire Station 1. Families enjoyed fun activities, a live fire demonstration, and got to meet the firefighters who served their community. Officials say that fire safety was the focus of the event as they talked to kids about a number of things, including how to never hide indoors, just like in school safety programs.
The plan is the most important part, so you know where everyone can meet at, so you can make sure everyone got out of the house. Knowing what to do when there is smoke alarms going off. Don't go out and hide. Try not to tell your kids to go inside and hide, but just almost like you do a school program. They're taught to go outside.
Students get their hands dirty with real science at Missouri Southern. At Missouri Southern State University welcomed more than 200 students to their campus for a STEM Discovery Day. Now, the purpose is to prepare and inform high school students about career fields involving science, tech, engineering, and math. Students participated in different sessions, including a forensics lab, a liquid nitrogen ice cream lab, and more.
It kind of helps, like, seeing all the different body insides of body parts kind of helped to see if I'd actually be able to handle it or something in the future.
I think a lot of students don't realize how interconnected the STEM fields are, and so because you're really interested in this one area, you're probably going to have to take classes in others.
The STEM Day also included sessions about genetics, microbiology, and environmental health. Well, up next, we're taking you to Baxter Springs as the community comes together to support local first responders. And later, we're making apple fritters in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, the Baxter Springs Civil War encampment happened over the weekend, remembering the event on the 162nd anniversary of Quantrill's raid on Fort Blair on the historic Fort Blair site. The encampment gives people an idea as to what Civil War camp life entailed, including drills and even a battle engagement. And the annual Back the Badge barbecue fundraiser took place in Baxter Springs this weekend. The goal is to get new equipment for the Baxter Springs Police and Police Reserve. Residents could donate any amount and receive a barbecue sandwich, pickle spear, chips, and a drink. There's also merch and a raffle available with a custom fire pit as the prize.
We are blessed with how much support we will get. Right now we're just opening up for the day, but we will sell out. They will come by. There will not be a scrap of food left. There will not be t-shirts left. Our support from our communities is overwhelming. We want to thank our community for the support they give us, and we look forward to being there for them when they need us and the support we can give them when they need it.
All the proceeds went to the BSPD and Cherokee County Reserve Departments. And as North Heights Porch Fest takes place this past weekend, the event reconnected a Colorado man to his Joplin roots. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
Music is something that has the ability to connect people, no matter your background. Mark Harris left Joplin over 30 years ago and originally had no plans to return.
And I wrote a letter and said, this is who I am. I said, I know a bunch of history about the neighborhood and about the house. And I said, if you're interested, here's my telephone number. So it turned out to be William, who's actually in charge of Porch Fest.
An organizer of Porch Fest had music planned for his own front porch, which belonged to Harris's grandparents for over 50 years.
He's actually the one that kind of invited me and said, well, I've got a girl that's playing on my porch. I said, if I could just do a couple songs, I'd be tickled. I'd feel like I'd come full circle.
William was amazed at the fact that someone reached out with knowledge and history behind the home he owns.
He hadn't been here in 30 years, so I invited him out here to play on his grandparents' porch, and it all just turned out perfectly. And I've gotten to learn about the history of the house too. Always been really curious for as long as I've owned it. So it's really just been a miracle, honestly.
Thinking about the memories that flood back in while being in Joplin, Harris feels great to finally be able to relive them.
I think the first thought is how Joplin, to me, hasn't changed at all. I've been gone 30 years, and I remembered the street names. You know, I remember the park. We always come through Landreth Park. And it just, you know, all those memories come flooding back. When you pull into Joplin, you pull through the park, you know, you're almost close to 712 North Pearl. So.
Reporting in Joplin, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, Harris's grandparents lived in the home from the 1940s until the 1990s. Talking about coming full circle. Well, still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
It's the height of apple season, so today I'm sharing 2 amazing apple recipes that I grew up with.
And we finally have some rain chances to look forward to. I'll have those details right after this. Well, we're finally seeing some rain chances after weeks of not having any rain chances. We can go ahead and take a look at our timing that we could see. Now we've got a chance early this afternoon seeing an isolated storm or 2 in southeastern Kansas, but for most of us seeing a majority of rainfall, it's going to be after about 4 a.m. We've got a brief window there 4 to early afternoon on Tuesday, and that's going to be dropping our temperatures by nearly 10 degrees. So we're sitting in the mid 80s yesterday, today, well, for the last couple of weeks, but by Tuesday, mid 70s, maybe even a little bit cooler in some areas. And then we're sticking around in the mid to upper 70s through Thursday. We do warm right back up on Friday, unfortunately, back into the 80s. So we're not seeing consistently seasonable temperatures until a couple of weeks from now. So far today, it's been very nice. Good morning. We're still seeing some clouds continuing to move in, so we're not getting a lot of sunshine like we've seen the last couple of days. And temperatures are warming up really quickly, so we're already in the low 80s right now. It feels like 83 out in Pittsburgh area. Again, we do have those partly cloudy skies and more clouds to come as we continue to push through as this front actually makes its way into our area. Now, so far, we're staying dry. We have a cold front draped from our low pressure system that's further up in the northern states. So we're not seeing very strong forcing with this, but it does mean we're going to get a couple of thunderstorms. You can see a little bit of lightning out there just north of Wichita along I-135. Now, most of the front is dying down, so we're really only seeing some light rain chances, and that's what we're going to get as it moves into the area. So here we are, mid-afternoon, 5 p.m. We've got this isolated little system coming in and maybe some lingering showers that make it into our western counties near Howard, Sedan, maybe Yates Center, maybe as far as into Independence. But most of this is going to die down before it moves into the area. We don't see a lot from that first round. Second round's coming in after midnight. We're going to see this another round just kind of revamping up of rain showers they push in. Could get some thunderstorms with this, but most of it again dying down as it makes it into the area into southeastern Kansas, north of I-44, definitely staying north of I-44, Nevada into Lamar, but not really quite making it to the Joplin area before it dies down, and then we're left with partly cloudy skies for the rest of Tuesday. Again, though, temperatures are going to be much nicer, so we do get to enjoy that from this system, seeing as we're not getting a lot of rain accumulation. Lamar, maybe about 1/10 of an inch. Fredonia, 1/4 of an inch out in Howard and Sedan. Again, a little stronger as it moves into our area, but dies down by the time it makes it into southeastern Kansas. So just to recap, we've got those cooler temperatures starting tomorrow because of the cold front. That lasts until Thursday. By Friday, we do start to warm up, but we also have another round of isolated shower chances on Friday. Low chance right now, I've got a 10% chance on that. And then a warm weekend with above average temperatures, mid 80s to even upper 80s into the start of next week before another complex moves in. Now, more seasonable temperatures and our first frost hits around October 22nd. So we're going to have a little bit stronger of a chance to see consistent cooler temperatures by October 18th and onwards. Now, our average first frost for us is late October, so it's pretty on par. This is an average year for us, I'd say, although we've had pretty consistently warm temperatures compared to where we should be. Normally we should be in the mid 70s, which is what we're seeing Tuesday and Wednesday, but we warm back up into the 80s and even upper 80s by the weekend. 86 on Sunday, 85 on Monday. A couple more isolated shower and thunderstorm chances next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and it'll bring temperatures back down to the upper 70s, but that's still not quite where we should be this time of year. So I know a lot of people have been wanting, to break out their sweaters. It's October. I want to break out my sweaters, but we've got a good week and a half to 2 weeks before we start to see cooler temperatures and even lows cooler than the mid 50s. It's going to be a while.
Yeah, and it's been a wild kind of weather ride. There's all those fall festivals. We went to the Neosho Fall Festival this weekend, and you can't wear the sweaters. You can't break out the sweatpants just yet. You're almost dressing like it's some kind of summer event because of how warm it's been.
It has been. I mean, in the mid 80s, it's definitely been about 10 degrees above average consistently so far this fall, and I love the fall. Fall is probably my favorite. You don't get as many storms, but you get this beautiful weather, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right, Lindsay, thank you so much, and you all stick around as we're making apple fritters in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen right after this. Howard's making apple fritters in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
What do you think of when you think of October? Well, for me, who grew up in upstate New York, it always meant one thing: a trip to the orchards. There we would pick baskets of apples, go on a hayride, and before we left, we always got a cup of hot mulled cider and some freshly made apple fritters. Those trips were some of my best memories as a kid. So today, I'm going to recreate those recipes so I can share those memories with you. We begin by peeling and coring a few apples, and instead of cutting them into chunks, we're going to cut them into round slices, like this. Now we dip these in a traditional fritter batter, which is simply some flour, a bit of sugar, baking powder, milk, and an egg. The key to these is to dip them one slice at a time, then carefully put them into hot oil. That way they won't stick together. After a minute or two, flip them so they get golden brown on both sides before draining them on paper towels. Now finish them off with lots of powdered sugar and serve them up with hot mulled cider topped with whipped cream and drizzled with caramel, just like I had growing up. Both recipes for the apple fritters and the spiced caramel apple cider are online now, so you can share my memories of apple season in a really sweet way. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for more memorable ways for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
Now here's a look at 4-state market prices.
Well, we got some rain chances tonight you want to watch out for.
All right, we'll see you back here tonight at 5.